Hello, everyone, and welcome to Data Source. With me today is Oluwashina Dedenuola. If I got that correctly.
You tried.
And we've known each other for quite some time. And we worked at Hugo together, we worked at TP together, TPT. And yeah, we have like similar experience in terms of we understand data analysis, data annotation, and data science. But yeah, he's here, so no need for me to talk about him too much. He knows himself more than anyone does. So, how would you describe yourself and who you are in terms of your career path?
Yeah. So, first of all, I say thanks for having me. And don't mind my voice. I'm having a bit of cold, so I hope I'm audible well enough. But yeah, I'm a data professional. With about say 4 to 5 years, been in this space for like 4 to 5 years. I think I describe myself as an analytical person because the by nature of what I've had to do over the past couple of years, I've kind of developed like an analytical mindset, which has kind of like shaped how I view things generally. Um, I think one thing I would like to mention as well is that my career path has kind of also influenced the kind of person that I am. So, what I mean in essence is, for example, if there are certain things that people probably wouldn't pay attention to, just because it's just normal, let me put it like that. But by virtue of my career path, I tend to pay attention to a lot of things, even beyond what other people see. For example, maybe the area of quality. If I see something, I'll be like, I don't like this because the quality of this thing could be better, or because I've had to engage myself a lot in like the face of like data quality transformation, and even as well as my background as well as a geoscientist has also kind of shaped. Even when I'm in the environment, I can just see a stone or a rock and I just pick up interest as well. So generally, I'd say my career path has kind of influenced kind of person I am, my personality, and I'd say it's also been for the good side. It's been on the good side, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think you're at the stage in your career where you begin to call yourself a data professional because I've seen that popping up a few times in people's identification. So like they have experience with so many areas of data, and they're like, I don't want to restrict myself to being called a data analyst or a data scientist or a data
Yeah,
engineer.
yeah. I generally do not call myself a data anything. If in my LinkedIn, I just sometimes just write anything data because I've found myself across multifaceted like parts of data, and I'd say it's just too much. So it's just best to just call oneself like a data professional because you never can tell, where the next the next big thing in data, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool. So from your background, you've delved into like different facets of data. Would you like talk briefly about how you moved from one facet to another? Like which did you start with? Did you start with data analysis or did you start with data engineering? And then how did you move from one to the next?
Yeah. So I'll say I kind of got like this awareness for my bachelor's degree about like data generally. And at that time, I would be honest, I didn't even really know. I don't think I knew anything about like data science or something. All I knew was statistics.
Mm,
And what I mean in essence is then I understood that we were doing some statistical courses that relates to like distributions and all those things, which I actually did struggle with when I first
mm,
started doing it, but I kind of found myself loving it. Then post um post bachelor's program,
mm,
which kind of was during the COVID era. Then I was just doing my general research, like as a geologist or whatever, like what are those technical, things that, someone like me that, needs to excel in the global space.
mm,
Then I came across, I mean, normal Google search, we didn't have the likes of GPTs that can just give you prompts. So I came across a couple of articles or like write-ups that was explaining how specific tools like Python and the likes are kind of streamlined or like closely linked to the geoscience profession. So that kind of then stirred up my interest. And I found out that you have to have a background in statistics. Probably not for everyone, but if you look at the long journey in that data space from basic data analytics all the way to machine learning engineering, you see that statistics comes in very handy. So I was like, yeah, since I have like statistical knowledge, I think I should be able to cope. So that prompted me then to take up specific courses. So I majorly like basically started from like normal data analysis, right? So just doing simple charts and then analyzing.
Like, which tools were you using?
I mean, we all, I say we all, but I did start with Excel.
Excel, yeah.
Basic Excel. And then so it was like the courses I took kind of like introduced me into Excel because they believe that that's like part of the fundamental data
Yeah. It
analysis.
still is actually.
Yeah, exactly. So I spent some time trying to understand like the functions and all those things. Then I got introduced into I'd say Python actually.
Mm.
So I got introduced to Python, started understanding like basic linear regressions, combining, different parameters together. And then I got introduced to Power BI, the process as well. So it was like, oh, you can actually use Power BI as a visualization tool. You can use Python for like cleaning, querying, and all those wrangling processes. Funny enough, I didn't even get introduced to SQL until about a year or two after. It was for me was so I think because the long term goal was maybe me thinking machine learning. So like SQL probably doesn't come in the picture, but we know SQL is just if you want to like extract data from like different source, like from like a source or whatever the case may be. But basically, my focus was on that. So it was more of like statistics to data analysis. Then got introduced into Python, and then when I got my role at Google as a data annotator, then I now got introduced to a different world entirely.
Yeah.
Then gradually combining that. So it was like kind of working together in the process because combining my knowledge that was already growing in the space of data with the non-coding parts of data that I got introduced to, it just made my mind go like, I need to really get to know what's going on here. So that's the non-coding part, that's the coding part, how they all combine and come together to form that big scope. I was yearning for it so much. So that pushed me further then to keep on taking courses. And then my job as well kind of helped me grow. And also I then transitioned to being a data scientist about 2 years after my first role.
So far, statistics, data analyst, and data scientist.
Science, yeah. So I mean, but currently, so that's why I said as a data professional, because currently I'll tell I'm like back to being a data analyst. But this time it's like encompassing not just data, it's not like probably basic data analytics, but it's a mixture of generative AI data analytics. So it's like a mixture of everything together.
And then if you could like do it again, so in a way, the way you described it, statistics was what introduced you, and then you became a data analyst, and then you got introduced to data annotation, and then data science, and then you're back into like data science / data analysis. So if you could do it again, say you're starting your career again today, how would you do it?
To be honest, if I'm to do it again, I'll take my maths very much more seriously. Although I had a good foundation with maths, but in essence, what I'm trying to say is, so growing up as a child, you're not really sure what you want to become. You're not sure what you really want to do. You're just literally doing a lot of things. Then as life begins to shape, or like as events begin to happen, they begin to make decisions. Or even at some point in time, we had our own parents making decisions for us, like, oh no, this is where I want you to be, this is where I want you to go. But what I mean in essence is I kind of realized it's my personal journey that specific subjects or specific courses kind of they unlock a specific part, some parts of like the human brain, say, to develop, to think deeply about specific things and how to solve problems. So what I'm trying to say in essence is there are some specific things that I would rather take much more seriously
Mm.
growing up. And secondly, if I had the opportunity, I'll probably incorporate coding curriculum into as basic as not high school, but from like senior secondary school. I would have loved to start getting introduced into even what's just the likes of Fortran or MATLAB as a senior secondary school student. So I got
Mm.
introduced to that in my university, which I feel at that point in time I should have been introduced to more of Python at that point.
Mm.
What I'm trying to point out in essence is it's really not that easy to build one's like career path differently from probably what is currently happening, because I would say I do not have 100% control of the events or the tons of events that happened. But
Yeah.
if I had the opportunity to do that, I'll definitely incorporate this analytical courses or like skills into like as early as teenage years, so that when I grow up to become an adult or like in the university, I've developed that skill as early as possible, and the innovative ideas or solutions will even probably come out quickly or faster than probably it is currently. So uh I, and yeah, and I feel like that would also help, even if eventually you choose or I choose to go to a different discipline. So it's not necessarily like I just want to be my life entirely there. Innovative solutions will probably come out faster, come out easier, and I also would have had the technical tools and skills to be able to build products or build solutions within any domain I found myself. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what you said about maths is very, very interesting, because when we're growing up, people would say you won't use maths to do anything.
Yeah.
But especially if you have a career in data, you use maths to do lots of things.
A
And
lot.
if you really didn't take maths seriously when you were growing up, yeah,
A lot. I feel like I don't want to say it's kind of difficult, but I feel like if you don't have some understanding of maths and stats, one will struggle in machine learning, because when you look at the old neural network processes, you realize that there's still a influx of a lot of like mathematical principles, statistical
yeah,
principles. They all coming together and it kind of like shapes that space. So yes, that's one thing I'll definitely take much much more serious, growing up. But yeah,
yeah.
good stuff.
Cool. So you did a project which was very interesting. Lots of feedback, lots of people talking about it. ML is the engine, LLM the translator. Building a hybrid feature of data science was the article you posted on Medium about it. So yeah,
Amazing.
would have a link to the article in this video on YouTube as well as on Spotify. But the project you worked on for that article, you worked on a project where you predicted particulate pollution, fine particulate pollution, I think in the UK or it was in London. Yeah, and it was a very robust project because we were basically looking at per hour pollution and then predicting the next hour from the previous data you had. And it was something that is it still ongoing? So just can you just walk us through how you did the project and what lessons you learned from it?
Yeah, so it's kind of on a pause actually, but because I when I so I okay, so probably when I walk you through, then you understand why it's on a pause. So it all started with I was just thinking to myself that what can I really do that combines my domain knowledge with the technical skills that I've amassed or like I've built over the past couple of years. So, and then I was like, okay, what are my interests really? Or like, even with or without my career background and everything, but what are those things that interest me? And I kind of, just thought of it that pollution has always been one big thing that I've always really looked into: environmental pollution, climate, whatever the case may be. And it kind of even influenced because we're doing my master's as well. I did my master's in applied geochemistry, and most like couple of my topics or like my courses were also centered around environmental geochemistry and the like. So kind of built a strong understanding of the environment, pollution, how particulate matter or how other mediums can contribute to toxicity or pollution in the environment. So I then thought of it that, okay, but do we have things like this that probably exist that can help people to, say, detect PM level at the particular environment prior to their arrival there? So just like we have the likes of urban boards, that you can get predictions on how many minutes would it take you to get to a particular place, right? And we also get the same type of tool, but in this time in the area of pollution, that can alert you probably an hour or two. So when I did my research, of course, I realized that, we actually have, Met Office, we have DEFRA, we have a couple of let's say websites or like government agencies in the UK, for example, that actually give alerts. But these alerts are probably robust, say yellow, amber warnings, whatever, stuff like that. So generally,
Yeah.
there are actually like websites that give notifications, but you have to take that conscious effort to go to the website, probably try and go and check this particular area, see what the pollution index is, stuff like that. So I'm like, what if I just focus centrally on pollution in the environment? So say limiting it to postcode level, where if I'm going from postcode A to postcode B, I can put postcode B on the map or on the tool itself, the route AQ tool, and it will tell me what the pollution index reading will be an hour ahead. And say, for example, people that are allergic, for example, someone like me, I'm kind of allergic to dust, right? So probably I can say it's part of what shaped my reasoning process. So I can say, it's within permissible level, right? Then I'll say, okay, it's safe for me to go. I mean, as much as I'll say, how often do people really think about doing? Would people really wake up and say they want to do that? You never can tell. That's how
I think it depends.
Yeah, but there are people that might really be interested in trying to know, and not just that alone. Probably over the years can also help to know an environment, which is probably not something that I probably have integrated or thought of, but was just discussing. So I'm thinking of, but having such historical records as well can help to have like generalized information about what the pollution, the information about like the ozone, or like the carbon monoxide or the PM 2.5, PM 10, whatever type they're looking for over a particular period of time has been, and that can probably help shape your decision if you think this space is highly polluted or not. So yeah, basically that was what prompted me to then build it. So I was working on, I was taking a course with Data Camp. It was a machine learning operations project. So when I kind of learned the whole end-to-end pipeline, how data comes, the multiple sources where data can come from, how you can connect them and store them, in a cloud. I mean, basically moving from cloud, local deployment or local pipelines to building a cloud infrastructure, basically. So that kind of introduced me to that. And I thought it would be nice to use such new idea or learning I've gained to build such an idea, right? So that then prompted me to use the knowledge I've learned to then gather data from multiple sources. So this is where it gets interesting. So I got data from I think it was Met Office, and then the other was from DEFRA. I think I tried using OpenAQ, but I kind of had some issues with the fact that through API calls, the data, I couldn't get data beyond 2016 or thereabout. And for this type of prediction process, we need live data and most recent data, because you don't want to give false information, and as well as you want to also make sure that the data that you're using in making predictions are as closely related as possible to future expectations. So if I'm trying to make a prediction for the next hour, I need to have data as recent as today, basically. So that was what made me prompt to look for an alternative when I couldn't use OpenAQ. So not just that, I also needed data from.
So just a quick one. What is OpenAQ, and like how do you what do they do? I haven't heard about them before.
Yeah, so OpenAQ is like they provide air quality information.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it will have been a very good source of that
Yes,
information.
yeah, it's a good source for that.
Okay.
And Met's office, it's weather and climate
Yeah.
information. So I combined a, a,
Met Office
source,
and DEPFRA.
yeah, a source that contains information about air quality and another that contains information about weather. Why I did that was because I understand well how weather can influence pollution as well.
Mm,
Because you selling polite, and that's the beauty of what the whole article I wrote was all about. That in a real scenario, in a real world environment, several factors play a huge role in like predictions or output of specific results. I can't just say because the reading here is this, the next hour, this is what the reading will be, without
mm,
factoring in certain factors like conditions that I think can influence it. Say, for example, a rainy day, for example, compared to a dry, sunny day,
mm,
that the in terms of how thin the hair is, so many factors it can influence the migration of pollutants. So basically, what I was trying to achieve was to get those type of tables, those data, pick specific parameters from the weather climate, data and database, combine it with the pollution results.
yeah.
It's also going to be from the same area. So if
Mm,
I pick London, for example, I also have to make sure that for both weather and the the weather and the pollution information, I want to combine them together so I can also have an understanding of how the weather probably influences pollution, contamination, and spread.
yeah.
So I did that, built a pipeline to extract the data using API. But that is now where it gets interesting. So like I mentioned, I have API rate limits. I can't call beyond a specific, make beyond specific calls per day.
Yeah.
And it was just it was just a project. Not probably it's something that can be integrated into like proper product.
Yeah.
But the point there is there are also some licensing issues that
Mm,
one can face, right? So putting all those things together kind of just not like make me step back a little bit, but just make me try to see how I can, go deeper, factoring all this nuances. But
mm,
generally, after building the whole pipeline, I had it running. I had it
yeah.
running successfully, and I got my predictions coming in. So at the time, the full idea is for it to go postcode level. So currently it's still at like station level,
Mm,
but then the future plans is to extrapolate from the station level, can create like a radius that
mm,
can then use that to make predictions on possible. So the point there is when that happens, then I can get like precision accuracy and see how well those results are really good. Because if to make that like product like ready, like it has to really really be highly accurate and can be relied on, which is one of those little things. But generally, at the point where it is, the idea is really really. I have an MVP and it's really good. So I hope I answered your question on that.
yeah, that's great because I think the things I got from that is that you're passionate about pollution and you look for a project that met that passion, and you use lots of tools, you connected them together, you face some issues, but you still produced the results,
Yeah,
you created something. And then another important thing is you didn't just keep it to yourself, you shared it with the world. And sharing it with the world is very important because I think in previous episode of the podcast, I've talked about how when you do a project, you shouldn't just forget it. You should store it somewhere. And one of the ways you
yeah,
can store it somewhere is sharing it because if you come back 10 years, it will still be in
yeah,
Medium. Nobody will nobody will delete it from there.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that's a really good project. And there's also like potential for future growth. You can improve on it, you can collaborate with others to make it better. So
Yeah.
it's a really lovely project, and it's a project that I think solves a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of any tool that you can check. Perhaps there are tools out there, but you can check like pollution in on a postcode level, or like if I'm going to a different location now, and I want to know the pollution level there. And I think that too can be relevant for people who are susceptible to pollution. And so I think it's a very, very needful tool. And in line with that, just to take this a bit further, so you kind of merged data from Met Office and DEFRA, and there's prediction as well, which is AI. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's also the project is also like a geoscience because you're looking at pollution.
Yeah.
Just a general discussion, really. What are your thoughts on the future of data, AI, and geosciences? Because you have a background in geosciences, I have a background in geosciences as well. So yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. For that, I think this is still like basically the what I've been mentioning like over the past couple of months is which is the fact that it's still like I see it as an hybrid approach, right? I say like so maybe because of the domains, the in-depth of like the domain requirements for geology, I believe that it definitely can be wiped off. Like it's not one of those jobs that when they say can be replaced by AI, there's so many domain requirements which still would make it stand out. But most importantly, I believe that AI would make solutions or innovations easier, faster, and more achievable than without AI. As we can see, like the so many products have come out, like this AI boom, so many products have come out just because people are able to build products with their knowledge that they've been able to gain in terms of how AI works and how it can make some of these problems come solutions to problem come alive. So but the point I'm trying to drive at is I see it more as an hybrid approach or an hybrid way of doing things. So say rather than dependent solely on I don't want to use AI because I don't know much about AI, or I feel like AI is going to take over this and that. Not like the bandwagon effect, but the point there is AI is here to stay, in my
Mm,
opinion, and I believe that the best thing that you can do is to learn how to use AI
mm,
in whichever discipline that you find yourself, and it's just going to be for your own good, because that will
mm,
kind of also help you to optimize,
mm,
help you to even think outside the box. Although we know that AI is being controlled by the data that is being fed, but
yeah.
where there is there are so many things you do not know that it can help you, to solve. So the point there is you can pick up your domain knowledge, combine it with ML AI, bring it together, and be able to build things. Which is my own personal experience as well, because I would say not being over dependent on AI as well, but trying to find the balance between both. But now we're going to I don't know if we're ever going to go back to the pre-AI era,
Yeah.
but the point
It's
is
like going back to pre-internet.
yes,
Yeah.
just like I don't it's yeah, exactly internet has been for about 3 decades now, and
Yeah.
it's obvious that it's not stopping anytime soon. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's my own take. I see the hybrid approach. I see the connection between domain areas and the technological advancements that we're currently experiencing globally. So yeah, uh, that's
So in your opinion, every domain is going to be utilizing AI, and like if whether you like it or not, and if you don't like it, then you'll be left behind.
yes.
Because yeah, because I think from what I've been seeing, you can use AI to automate lots of things that are like very routine stuff that you people usually waste their time doing. And you can
Mhm.
imagine someone that has that like a personal assistant doing that for them. They obviously now have more time to then do other things that are more important, and that person or that company would then push ahead further than the other company that is refusing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
adopt
yeah.
AI. But I also like that you noted the perils of AI. that
Yeah.
it's dependent on the data it's trained with. So if it makes mistakes, it hallucinates, it's not perfect at the moment. And you and I know this more than most.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah.
it's pretty much like important. I think, you know, it's just with the normal thing at inception, when a new product, not like product, but when a new idea is being introduced, not everybody would just jump on it. Some people be like, no, I'm, you know, which is normal, right? But over time, people are also beginning to develop ways to ensure the safety and use of this, you know, these AI, different AI tools that we have. But generally, AI definitely helps. We help to optimize. We help to like make the world, my books make the world easier, in terms of like building innovations, building solutions, and, you know, moving further and faster. But at the same time too, there also have to be this regulation. There has to be this understanding as well that this AI can also make mistakes. And so that over reliance, the implication of that is, for each time you use it, also try and always remember that I need to cross-check what is this giving me, because I don't want a situation where I'm a doctor and I'm using AI to prescribe drugs to my patient, and it's telling me to give the patient's particular thing. As a doctor, it's also important to, you know, check to see that, oh, what this thing's probably saying is true or not. I don't know if that's allowed in the medical field, but just generally speaking, like the
I think there's a new is a test model anyway, but I think it's not out
right?
yet. GPT
ChatGPT,
health,
health.
but
I
even
heard about
they put a caveat that it doesn't replace your doctor.
They have to. That's the point. They have to do that because you don't want to. Sorry, you don't want to lead people astray. Or that's to the point. They know people can get over reliant on these things.
Yeah,
It's important to just like let them know that as much as this thing will give really good results, we are not saying that we want you to put all your life on it.
yeah,
Just use it to help, you know, in your day-to-day activities. That's how I say it. But yeah.
yeah, cool. And then you seem like someone that works a lot. You, I think data analysts usually work, and people get the impression that data analysts are always like working 9 to 9 or something like that. But like, what do you do for fun, like in terms of your hobbies and?
Yeah, fun times. So it's like over the years, I've had to develop ways to engage myself, you know, in a fun in a fun way, aside from like the old work. So, but like I think top of the list for me is chess, because
Chess.
I play chess during my leisure time. But recent, I developed interest in Football Manager. So um sometimes on my wife see me on my phone sometimes. I'm like, trust me, I'm not playing any game. I'm just watching my formation, putting like seeing the result I generate. So
Yeah,
it's basically, I think it's still part of the old thinking process for me. As
yeah,
much as it's fun, it's also it requires like thinking through. For example, like in chess, you have to like think 4 or 5 steps ahead to
yeah,
know the steps your opponent is going to make or take rather.
yeah,
And same for Football Manager. You want to you have a new team you're playing against. You also want to look at it. You want to look at the team's formation and see how you
yeah,
can, you um, build your formation around to win, right?
yeah.
And it's been going good for me so far. I've won a lot of leagues
Wow.
in my Football Manager, yeah. But then, generally, those are the things that I tend to do.
And which is it Sega?
Uh, no, it's just like an app. It's called. I think it's called Top 11. I think
Oh, top 11.
Top 11.
Um,
It's a football manager, but it's not a real. It's not like the clubs we all know. You build your own club yourself,
yeah,
and you buy players yourself, and
yeah.
then you compete with other managers from around the world.
Uh,
It's really fun.
yeah.
It's
So it's like
you
a virtual league in a way.
Yeah, it's a virtual league. It's a
Yeah.
virtual
And
league. So
you won lots of leagues.
I've won lots of leagues. I think I'm in my maybe 14th season, and I've won like
wow.
11. Yeah, I've won like
So
11
like
out of
it's just 3 seasons you've not won a league.
yeah, and most times I'm always like second. I've had funny moments on the stuff where the guy. So it's just like the way we have El Clasico, right? Like the Madrid, the Barcelona. So sometimes if I'm in the league, I can see the guy, or maybe the second club on the, and I know for what I can see, the caliber of the players this person they are very good. Right. So sometimes, you know, just tactics. I'll say, oh, I hate to deploy Mourinho's method of coaching, which is back boss. Because I know that these strikers are very good, and then I just build all my eye. Oh, all I need is a draw to win the league. So I've done those things over and over, and it worked. Of course, I've lost a couple of tournaments as well. But I think a lot of times when a new league starts, or when I'm in a tournament, I think when some of just my thoughts, when some of the coaches go on my profile and see how many leagues and cups I've won, they're like, I have to be paid for this guy. And same for me as well. When I'm also trying to play, I'll like check through. Say, this guy has won more leagues than me. I have to be paid for this guy. So it's really fun. But yeah, it doesn't take away, you know, the part that, okay, of course, data is like my head.
I mean, from what you said, even when you're having fun, you're still analyzing data, because
exactly.
You're still thinking strategically.
And one more thing, I also play keyboard.
That's cool.
Manage your time as well. So it kind of sums up my fun moments.
That's cool. It's been nice having you on Data Source, you know.
Yeah.
If people want to reach out to you, check you on social media, how do they find you?
Can connect with me on LinkedIn. My name, Oluwashina Dedenuola. You can connect with me on Twitter at Seun MME, SEUNMME. Same handle for Instagram as well. I think those are like the two active social media channels I'm on. Same name on Facebook, whichever one you want to connect me with. But yeah.
All right, cool. It's been really, really fun having you on board. Talking about your experience, talking about the project you worked on in predicting fine particulate matter, talking about what you do for fun. It's really an honor to, you know, have you out of your very busy schedule to talk about your experience, and we're happy to have you here, and I'm sure my audience would also be happy to listen to your experience as well, and hopefully it makes a difference in your life. This is Data Source, and we do this every Saturday. So yeah, another episode will drop next Saturday as well. So yeah, just be on the lookout. You can subscribe or follow on Spotify, and you can also subscribe on YouTube, the same handle, Data Source. And yeah, you can reach out to me on my email omasanakwe@gmail.com. Yeah, you can also reach out if you got this on Spotify, you got this on YouTube. You can also comment, or yeah, like, subscribe, share with people that you think this would be interesting to them. So once again, thank you, Shino, for
thank you, and thank you for having me as well.